Hello, everyone. This is Scott Reese and Jim Caswell greeting you today on behalf of the Commercial Board Education Committee. We hope that you are all safe and well and that you are enjoying our weekly video snacks. We look forward to being back together at our education seminars in the coming months. Jim?
Thank you, Scott. And this is Jim Caswell. We'd like to say first and foremost that none of this would be possible without the support of our annual corporate sponsors and our annual education sponsors. They have been longtime supporters of the ACBR, and let's be sure the next time you have a video chat or you see one of our sponsors, you thank them for their support. We hope you enjoy the videos. We hope that you stay safe out there.
Hey everyone, hope you're doing well and staying safe, finding ways to be productive while working from home. I know we'd much rather be together at the commercial board, but we're excited to continue our video series just to keep our members connected and informed. I'm Lindsay Murphy with MurphyMeyers, and we're excited to have Scott Moore with Humphries Construction joining us. I know a lot of us are staying at home and finding new ways to be productive while sheltering in place, but essential workers out there include the construction world, and so we're really excited to have Scott join us today. Scott, how are you and the Humphries team doing?
Good morning. We're all safe and sound and trying to deal with the ever-changing world we're living in right now. It's crazy.
Well, thanks to you and your teams for staying out there. For those of us that haven't caught a glimpse of what's happening in the construction world, can you give us a pulse on where things are? Are projects still moving ahead? Kind of hit or miss? Have you seen a significant slowdown?
Right. So thank you for having me. So I'm Scott Moore. I'm the managing partner of Humphries and Company. Humphries has been around for since 1981. So almost 40 years, 39 years. I've been with the firm 35 of those years. I've lived through 3 recessions, and those were all planned, and we saw it coming, and we were kind of last to get in the soup in all those recessions, but this one just hit us completely off guard. No one was prepared for this. We were having another good year, you could say, in a string of several good years, 6 or 7 in a row. And we had 26 projects going on at one time. And, the very first week this hit, we got down to 19 projects because we were working in occupied space, and we primarily do interiors work in high-rise office buildings. So we're working in downtown, midtown, Buckhead, Perimeter Center, and some of the stuff we do is more service related. And so all those projects that were considered non-essential, installing TVs or moving a wall or door, they just told us to go home. And so that was the first sort of realization that this was going to have a real effect on us. And we had 21 projects that we'd been awarded with start dates, ranging from, April through, towards the end of the year. And just about all of those projects have either been postponed. We've only had one that is completely canceled, but all of them have pushed to June or after. And so it's had a real big effect. We have a lot of short duration for the projects. There's a lot of churn. So we need building permits, we need inspections, and we need owners to approve budgets and allow us to continue to work.
Wow. Well, I think, you're onto something there when you were talking about things kind of slowing down and hitting speed bumps. So what does a typical project process look like nowadays? Are you seeing things getting slowed down, from permitting to inspection, or maybe when it comes to getting, architects or engineers or designers or even end users, out to look at the site? What does that process look like for y'all now?
So, our project managers, assistant project managers, and estimators were all used to working remotely and working from home. And so they're still very busy. Architects have figured that out. So I'm still getting a lot of RFPs and requests for proposals. I have 5 right now on my desk, and some are due this week and some are next. I'm having interviews for projects that were normally in person when we're competing for a project, and those are being done like we're doing now, remotely, and either Zoom or conference calls. And so the office staff working remotely is still very busy, and we're still seeing opportunities. We just can't get anything started in the field up again. I'm expecting, this thing to get back to some semblance of normal, probably not April, I hope May, but more likely June. And so if everybody orders all their materials all at the same time and we all say go, that's going to be a problem. We already had, lead time issues with light fixtures, but if we get, 8 million light fixture orders all at one time, imagine the lead times are going to be significantly different than they were before shut down. In terms of specific trades, I mentioned like carpentry and drywall trades are hard to work in social distancing, because they have to work in teams. So we're trying to keep the same teams together. It makes guys feel better if they're working with the same guy over and over versus getting new partners every day to work with. So we're trying to keep those teams together. Like an electrical trade is easier to work as a single person in terms of installing lights or outlets. One person can do that. You don't necessarily need two people to do that job. So I would say some of those trades, a painter can work by himself. So some of those trades are probably less affected than trades that require two people to handle something. But I wouldn't say there's one trade that's taken a tougher hit than anything else. It's just we're all having to learn to work separately versus how we have been working, which is together. That's the big change, and it's less fun.
I can understand for sure.
Yeah.
I know we're kind of still early on into this and really having an understanding of what it's going to do to the market, but any kind of predictions in terms of when we come out of this, where we all stand is construction costs less, same, more? It sounds like there's going to be some significant ramp up time and then just access to the materials once we do have the labor back in place. But any thoughts about, the next few months and what that looks like?
I've spent a lot of time thinking about that, and I'm not very good at predicting the future. But I think rural areas, my guess, are going to start back up sooner than urban areas. And I'm afraid Atlanta, as long as we still have a relative number of cases, I think we're going to be slow to start back up again. I think owners who have their projects that we're working on now, like in the office where the pricing is approved, we're in for permit, but maybe we can't get a permit, but we're in and we're ready to go. Those are probably going to benefit the most because then they can get their materials ordered sooner. They can get their job started sooner, and everybody on the first few jobs are going to be the hungriest. So we're going to be very aggressive trying to get projects started as soon as possible. And those who maybe have had the wait and see attitude or want to see what happens, and then they start after the early people start, I think then you're going to experience supply chain problems. People maybe are going to be busy again then, and I think it's going to be, they're not going to get the advantage price-wise that the early guys got because now everybody's busy again like we were before. And so I think if you're waiting to start your project now in August versus May or June, then you may be paying more and you may have to wait longer for your materials. And so what I'm suggesting to owners is work hard now, get your project teed up and get ready to go. And when they do say it's okay to start back to work, I think you're in a better position than those who've decided, let's just wait for a longer period of time to get our project started because.
Right. Yeah. I think everyone's going to be a little more cautious for sure, just to say, how do we ease back in instead of diving headfirst back in? But I think, we as a community are going to have to take small steps to ease out of this so that we're not all kind of scared and paralyzed by it.
Certainly.
And that seems like the smart, sustainable move. It's why Humphries has been a fixture in the Atlanta commercial real estate world. And I think a lot of us, look to those folks that have been around and have been such supports and anchors of the development in our state and in our cities for sure. So we really appreciate, your insight and what your team's doing and can definitely all empathize with where your team is at. Any other kind of closing thoughts or things you want to share with the commercial real estate world?
No, I mean, I think we all just have to stick together and just use good common sense. It's, I have talked on the phone more with more of my folks ever than I ever have before because we have more time and maybe we're not as engaged, personally and together, but every person that I've asked to stay home, I've called personally, and everybody's been very, understanding. And, this thing's gotten real personal within our company, And in some ways, it's brought us closer together and talk about things maybe we wouldn't normally talk about. But one of the interesting things I would say is our people like coming to the office. We thought everybody would like this working from home, but there is a certain amount of synergy and energy you get from hearing about other projects that others are working on, and we, you know, have an interest in what others are doing in our office. And so that's missing. And I can't wait for that to start back up again. And it will take greater emphasis when we do have an office party again and a birthday party that we can all be together again, because that's missing, and it does feel like something's missing. So I can't wait till we get that started again.
I think you're right. I think we'll all have something to celebrate and lots to be thankful for. And I think while there's a scarcity of a lot of things right now, humanity is not one of them. And it really warms my heart, and I know it gives us a lot of optimism and faith about what's going to happen next, just to see people embrace each other and really care and talk about things that maybe they hadn't before. So I think we will forever be changed as people because of this. So
definitely. Well, if I can ever be of any help to you or anyone in the brokerage community,
thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you for your time. Thank your team for what they're doing. Humphries and Company is such a class act and such a fixture for us, and we're all cheering you on, and we're just so thankful for your time. And to the commercial real estate group, we miss you. We hope you're all staying safe and healthy and positive, and we can't wait to see you soon. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Lindsay.